lot of Americans scoring goals this past weekend. Folarin and Balogun delivered a goal and assist in Monaco's big win over PSG. Haji Wright scored his 16th league goal of the season in Coventry's win over Bristol City. That matches his career high. And in the Netherlands, Ricardo Pepi scored the game-winning goal in the 86th minute in PSV's win versus AZ Alkmaar, marking his 14th goal of the season in all competitions. Now, while Ricardo Pepi enjoyed a special day for PSV, his fellow American Sergiño Dest had a painful one, limping off with a hamstring injury that is expected to rule him out of the US men's national team's upcoming March friendlies. Now, Dest provided an update after the match, declaring his intent to be back before the end of the season, meaning he still has his sights set on playing in the summer's World Cup, which would be his second World Cup. Here's what he said: "I'm out for a little while to do what I love the most, but one thing for sure is that this is not the end of the season. I'll do everything in my power to make sure that I'm coming back ASAP on the right timing. Thanks for the messages. I won't let you guys down." OK, so to talk more about this, we're going to be bringing in former US men's national team defender Jimmy Conrad. Jimmy, lovely to see you today. Let's talk about this injury and what it means, not just for the US men's national team, but also for PSV. So let's start there. Dest has been performing really well for PSV. I think he's the fourth most appeared player this season. What does it mean for this team now that he's out?
Hannah, great to see you as always. Can we just talk about his post on Instagram? Like, he posted him with his hamstring strain with his arm up. I just thought that was an interesting choice. If we're getting into the weeds here about Sergiño Dest. No, listen, jokes aside, this is a somewhat significant loss, because when things started to change for Mauricio Pochettino was when we were down 2-0 to South Korea, okay, back in September. And he had to do something to get us going forward, putting more numbers, attacking numbers up front. Now, Sergiño Dest started that game against South Korea, came out for Alex Freeman, who's going to be pivotal to this story here in a little bit. And then we switched to like this fluid 4. So it looks like a little bit of a back 3, got some wing backs. We started that formation against Japan, and we were flying. 2-0 that game. Freeman actually started, Dest came off the bench. But now let's fast forward to the October window. Nico, I see you over there. And Paraguay, we start in that fluid 4, and Dest starts, and we win 2-1. Then we play against Uruguay and maybe have our best performance under Mauricio Pochettino. We win that one 5-1. Dest starts in that game as well. He is ideal for this formation.
Right.
And so I'm really bummed that he doesn't get the opportunity to cut his teeth against Belgium and Portugal in this upcoming window, especially because this is the last window before Mauricio Pochettino's got to make decisions.
Jimmy, at what time does first period start? At what time does the bell ring?
Hey, man. So I like going to school. What's the big deal? We might get off my back.
You look ready for Algebra 2.
I got my backpack. I've got an apple for my teacher. We're all set, Nico. I appreciate that.
Listen, so rummage through your notes for me for a little bit, because Pochettino has had to deal without Dest right before. And now we're starting to think, who could it be? Is it Scally? Is it Freeman, for example? He's offered not only time to players from Europe, but for MLS as well, right? That's kind of been his MO. Like, it doesn't matter where you play, as long as you give me a little bit of cojones and heart, you can be on the national team. So, yes, is Dest ideal? Without a shadow of a doubt for that role where he kind of doesn't have to defend that much. But who do you see stepping in for him?
Yeah, that's a good question. And also, I really appreciate your Saved by the Bell look that you got going on right now, Nico. So I just want to, I think what's interesting is Mauricio Pochettino has coached 22 games for the U.S. men's national team since taking over, and Dest has only played in 4 of those 22. Right. So we've already kind of lived in a world where we weren't counting on him to be the guy in that particular position of the field. I think his profile as a player really helps us in that formation, that fluid 4 that I was discussing, and it does limit him from having to play hardcore defense and having to be really disciplined on that side of the ball. It gives him a little bit of room to have some fun and get a little bit higher up the field to try to win the ball back for us. However, Freeman has played there, even though we've also played him as one of our 3 center backs. So there's a way that maybe he can be a tweener, as it were. You have Scally that you mentioned. I don't think he has been good enough. He wasn't very good this past weekend against Bayern Munich. Now, fairness, they're playing Bayern Munich.
Right.
And then you have Tim Weah. Tim Weah has been playing there for Marseille pretty much all season. So you got Weah there, and he's kind of a jack of all trades. So you could use Weah in that position. You got Weston McKennie, who basically plays every position but goalkeeper for Juventus, right? So you could throw him out there as well. And so there's other different worlds where you could solve that with a couple different players. And I think that actually speaks to the depth of this team and maybe a way that we haven't seen. And so because we haven't relied on him in a while, I think we're going to be fine. but it is a loss, and that's why I was a little bit, I guess, using the word significant was something I had said before. Yes, it hurts because of his player profile, but also it doesn't hurt because we've already kind of lived in a world without him.
Jimmy, you mentioned moving a lot of these guys that don't usually play that position for the men's national team specifically, right? I'm thinking like Weah playing right wing back or McKennie playing right wing back. Yes, they are the perfect Swiss Army knife, for sure. But taking them out of their position is also a loss in another part of the field. Do you think that Pochettino is going to be willing to experiment?
I think he's going to have to. For me, Weston McKennie is probably the one that would feel like the most of a stretch, that we were not utilizing all of his strengths if we put him out as the right wing back. Tim Weah, though, I think is probably the best suited for that position. Yes, he's played on the left side, in the left wing-back area, so he could maybe combine with Christian Pulisic if they're together on that side of the field, and that's led to some success, and they have a nice rapport between each other. But I feel like Tim Weah wouldn't be getting out of his skill set. I still think he could provide a lot of value in that area because now he's – because if we're going to play with two, let's say, inverted wingers or two number 10s, you have Christian on one side, and you could have Weston. Weston started the Australia game in that high number 10 next to Christian before Christian got hurt in that game. But you could put Tim, and he's still kind of doing what he would be doing in a right wing spot, right? So, and I feel like his IQ is high enough that he can manage any kind of asks that we would want to have. So ultimately, I'm not too worried, but there is a conversation to be had. This isn't just isolated to us. Every national team is probably going to have somebody significant getting hurt ahead of this tournament. These guys play more games than ever. And so remember when Romario, I'm not trying to compare Sergiño Dest to Romario, but Brazil won the World Cup in 94, didn't have Romario in 98, got to the final and lost to France. Had Romario been available in 98, we're talking Brazil may have won back-to-back World Cups, right? I mean, that's so there are a lot of guys that have missed World Cups. And for us, from a U.S. perspective, we lost Chris Armas ahead of the 2002 World Cup and the 2006 World Cup. And I feel like if he was in the team, he was so pivotal to a lot of different things, then you have a little bit of a different path. And maybe we're talking about different types of successes for the U.S. team. Maybe 2002 quarterfinals is where we were going to get. But I'm just saying that every national team's going to have to deal with this at some point. And right now it's Sergiño Dest. But hopefully he's going to be healthy enough and it's not going to be an issue.
Yeah, Jimmy, it wasn't a good weekend for Dest, but it was a great weekend for Ricardo Pepi. His first start since coming back from injury and getting that game-winning goal, wasn't it?
It's amazing, and I feel like he's making a very difficult decision here. He's going to force Mauricio Pochettino to have a difficult decision. But every time Pepi scores, Balogun scores, Haji Wright scores, Patrick Agyemang. I mean, everybody's scoring. We're in a really good spot for our number 9 position, and that feels good because maybe a year ago, we just didn't know who was going to take that and make it their own. I still feel like Balogun's got the lead, but it's nice. Ricardo Pepi's putting a lot of pressure on him that he can be a guy that can help us. I honestly feel like Ricardo Pepi's going to be our big, most important super sub in the World Cup in the summer. So long may these goals continue, though. As long as everybody's feeling hot and confident, that's all I really care about when you think about what happens or what you want from your number 9.
Mauricio Jimmy Tino, you kind of answered my next question. So I guess you're going with Balogun. He liked that one. He liked that one a lot. So Balogun for sure is the starting 9 against Paraguay.
Yeah, I think that you're going to go with Balogun. If you've watched him play recently, he just had a goal and an assist against PSG this past weekend. His movement off the ball is incredible. And not to say that Ricardo Pepi doesn't have similar details as a player, but Balogun, the way that I think, let's say it like this. If I was a center back, so I can speak to this, I'd rather play against Ricardo Pepi than Balogun. Balogun would stretch me and pull me into different spaces that I would feel less comfortable if he got me isolated 1v1. Not to say Ricardo Pepi wouldn't be like Ricardo Pepi's excellent in and around the box, but in the build-up play, he doesn't necessarily concern me as much. Balogun can hurt you in the middle of the field, right? So all of a sudden he's going to get it, lay it off, and go. And I don't know if I'm catching Balogun, right? He's got that type of quickness and understanding, so he's thinking quicker and he's already quicker than me, and that's a double threat. Ricardo Pepi, I feel like if he laid it off and went, I could still maybe track him or somehow be close enough. No, he's going to laugh at that. I'm not saying...
It sounds, Jimmy, it definitely sounds like you don't like El Paso for some reason.
No,
why
true.
would you start taking shots at El Paso like that and the football's going to come out of El Paso, bro?
No. Listen, Ricardo Pepi, I'll say this right now. Put a flag in the ground. I've got a lot of flags in the ground when I speak. But I'll put a flag in the ground. Ricardo Pepi's going to score a very important goal for us this summer. And I don't know, it could be in the knockout rounds, it could be getting us out of the group, whatever it is, he's going to score maybe more than one, but he's going to play a very important role for us, and I want that for him. He was one of the last cuts of the 2022 World Cup roster when I didn't think he deserved to be cut, and now he's going to go improve himself, and he continues to do that. I've got nothing but admiration for his resiliency and his determination to not let a setback hold him back and you know, have his career go like this if things didn't go his way. He's been pushing this way, and I was that type of player too. Things didn't go my way, and then so when I see it, I recognize it, and I have nothing but a ton of respect for El Paso and El Train, in particular, Ricardo Pepi. I just think when we think about Paraguay, leaving emotion out of it, I think that Balogun's maybe a little bit of a better fit to provide different types of threats. And then Pepi comes on with 20, 30 minutes left, and then scores the winning goal, and everybody wins, right? So it's a good problem to have, Nico.
Official X account of the city of El Paso just said, at Jimmy Conrad, that West Coaster knows absolutely nothing about us border Texas City. You'll see this summer. # we stand with Pepi.
That's actually my mom's burner account, which that makes it really scary.
Jimmy, it was also a good weekend with you and the Oakland Roots. They won 1-0.
That's correct. I want to give a shout out to the Oakland Roots. Thank you. I'm in the UEFA A coaching course, and to get your UEFA A, it's helpful to work with a professional team. And Ryan Martin, the new coach for the Roots, and the Roots overall have been very gracious to let me help out this season. And so I'm a coaching intern, but I'm loving every second of it. And it's great to be around the guys, and it's something that I know that I miss because I had that so long for my years as a player. And so, yeah. So we won our first one. I'm helping out the center backs in the back line. We got a clean sheet. It's all good over here, Hannah, so I'm loving it.
Lovely stuff. Thank you very much, Jimmy. Love having you on Morning Footy. See you soon.
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie A, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.